this time it's actually the beginning of June, which means it's the beginning of summer, which means things are absolutely taking off now, in a way that even a couple of weeks ago when I last filmed, you could imagine what it was going to be like, but now it's just happening. Things are just starting to explode. We've had some really warm weather coupled with some quite sharp downpours, so of course everything's just gone mad. So in the last couple of weeks I've actually been down here and got loads of stuff done, which you'll be really glad to hear. That means you're not going to have to watch me do it all, but what I'll do today, I'll show you around the changes that we've made, and yeah, and then we'll have a little chat at the end, okay? So come and have a look. Mike's playing with his onions over here. What are you up to, Mike?
I'm just doing a little bit of hand weeding here, and using my little trowel here to sort of get in amongst the onions, so as I don't knock any over and disturb their roots.
How are they looking this year?
They're looking a bit better than previous years. They've still got a little bit of that curl that we get from the leaf miner or the allium miner, but I think starting them off under nets has made a bit of a difference. So you can see these ones at the front here, which are Steuron, are doing a little bit better than they have in the past. Yeah. They look pretty strong. And these ones over here, which look a little bit desperate at the minute, they're kind of their seedlings that we put in just a few weeks ago. So I think they're going to catch up, I hope.
So they should pick up, shouldn't they?
They should.
They'll start to bulk up very soon, won't they? In a couple of weeks they'll start bulking up.
I hope so. I think we're going to feed them with a little bit of comfrey feed, or a nettle feed, and that should just pick them up just a little bit.
Fab. The strawberry patch has been almost completely neglected this year. I gave it a really good sort out early on, took most of the weeds out I could, but I think I had a dressing of fish blood and bone, but other than that, I mean, we haven't put straw down or anything for the strawberries, and yet, if we have a little look here, it's still giving us some fruit. Bless them. Not brilliant, not big, not yet. Can you see them? But we'll get some. And what I'm going to do this year, this is their third year in this plot, these strawberries, so I'll be basically taking runners from these this year to move to the plot next door that's currently got the turnips and the beetroot in, and make sure that's lovely and fresh for them. Give the soil a really good manure, so next year they won't know what's hit them. But for this year we might get fewer strawberries, but they'll still be just as sweet. Out of all the beans that we've put in, the pea beans are the ones that have really taken off. These were just planted, they were last year's harvest actually, they were last year's pea beans, most of which were munched, and these I've just put them straight in the soil this year, and yeah, they've all come and they're looking really strong. Ooh. Oh, look at them, I'm so looking forward to the broad beans. They're coming on a pace now, and I think they're just starting to fatten up. A couple of days ago we sort of more or less had the same size pods, but the beans didn't feel very big, but these actually now, you can feel that the beans are really starting to fill up in there. So certainly before I go home tonight we're going to be picking a few of these and having fresh broad beans. Fantastic. Sweet corn are all doing really well. These have been planted out about 2 weeks ago now. Where there's a couple of gaps I've put seeds in to just hope that they fill the gaps, but this variety was swift, and really, it's so delicious. If you haven't grown sweet corn before and you've got the smallest space for it, do it, because it's just, the fresher you can eat it, the sooner you eat it from the plant, the sweeter it is. And this was just glorious. So very much looking forward to a good old sweet corn harvest this year. Now if you remember the bit of land that we've been given, apart from the squash and some onions at the front, I've put these tomatoes in that were basically just surplus to requirements, so it's given us the opportunity to plant them at actually quite a reasonable spacing apart. So these are about, oh it's just got windy, about 2.5 feet apart. So I'm trying to minimise the risk of blight as much as possible, so the more air movement they get round them, the less likely they are to get blighted. But also, because there's a cockerel who's got a lot to say over there, also, normally if they're outdoors I'd let them grow as bush tomatoes, but again, to let as much air around them as possible, I'm going to grow them as cordons. So that means, let's have a look, there's only a tiny one there. Just taking out these side shoots. That's not even big enough to take out yet. Just keeping an eye on them though. Look, there's one. There's a side shoot when you want it. Tomatoes almost make me sneeze. And putting a stake in. And again, that'll just mean that they're not sort of harbouring too much moisture. They'll have lovely airflow going around them. And fingers crossed for the blight. There we go, 12 tomato plants all in a row, or 2 rows in this case. Let me just show you what I have done though. Where I've tied them in, I've you can see I've only used that very soft string. It does rot eventually, but for the lifetime of this tomato plant it's going to be okay. And you can see I've actually left quite a big bit of leeway. You don't want to be tying your tomato stalk tight up to the cane, because it won't give room for the stem to swell. And also it's good, I mean you can see just today these are having natural bit of movement here with the wind, but it's good for them to be able to move about a bit, because that helps to strengthen the roots apparently. So yeah, if you've got ones in the greenhouse, give them a little knock now and then to strengthen them up. Yeah, they're done now. Good old watering, and they'll be fine. Fruit cage is looking really, well, I'm not going to say productive, it's looking very green and lush. As far as the raspberries go, I know that's fine, and I'm going to get plenty of raspberries. Got loads last year. We've only just, well, we have finished what we had in the freezer actually. It's just as well before the freezer stopped working. But that's another story. But what I'm a little bit concerned about is if I go to the end here, ooh, tripping over. Okay, I've got a few goose dogs. Yeah, they're okay. But these black currants, I pruned them at the right time. I pruned them sort of, I don't know, was it February? And I believed that black currants fruited on new wood, and yet the fruits, they're very few and far between. And to me, that's old wood. Is that not old wood? Look, that, I would say, can you see there? I would say that was new wood, and that is old wood, and that's where they're coming from. But, so I'm wondering if this is a red currant and not a black currant. I know it's a currant. Anyway, but what's alarmed me is I've just noticed this on the leaves. Can you see that? Actually, it's everywhere. I'm going to take this leaf off and have a closer look. That says to me, I don't know, it's almost like a web. Has anyone ever seen this before? I will Google it and see what I think. But that's not a happy plant. Oh, and actually, when you look, it's everywhere. I'm saying everywhere, all on this currant. Oh, good grief, look. Yeah. Now, I know the neighbour's got sawfly at the bottom of the plot on his currant, so whether it's to do with the sawfly, I don't know. But we're going to have to get this sorted. You look at the currant that's just next door. That's fine for now. That looks really, really happy and healthy. But if it's sawfly, it will just ravage those leaves. I saw them last year and your plant's skeletal within days. So, yeah. Any comments on that? Let me know. This area, as you know, my beloved pond area, it's had a good tidy up, believe it or not. You wouldn't think it, would you really, to look at it? But I've moved all the bulbs away now, pulled up the forget-me-not, knowing that I'll self-seed everywhere, so it'll be beautiful again next year, and trimmed all the geum. Do you remember my orange geum? I think I've got one flower left down there, I can just about see it. But in their place, I have got the calendula, which is self-seeded from last year. I've put my dahlias, I've got zinnia, I've got cosmos at the back. I've got things coming up that I'd forgotten about. But whereas it all looks very green, I suppose dormant's not the word, but there's not a lot of colour here. I think give it another couple of weeks when these things have all sort of spread out, and it's going to be a riot of colour again. We've got our very own elderflowers here at the back of the plot, so I think some of those, if not today, are going to get picked to make some elderflower cordial. Okay, I'm ending this video today actually being a little bit more informed than I was at the beginning of the video, in that I know what day it is. It's Saturday, and it's about 5 o'clock now, and it's just gone dull. It's been a really lovely sunny day. I hope you can hear me. I'm trying this with no mic apart from the camera mic today, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, I was going to pot up some aubergines, but actually I've just looked at them and they're fine. They're not quite filling the pot that they're in already, so I don't want to shock them. So again, because we've been given that extra space over where you can't see, behind you, we've had extra space to do outdoor cucumbers, and also, because we've been able to put some of the tomatoes out as well, I've got more space in the greenhouse than I thought I was going to have, so I'm going to do some cucumbers in the greenhouse as well. Not that I like cucumbers desperately much really, but yeah, hopefully they'll come a little bit earlier. So I've just noticed the sky over again behind you is black, so I'm hoping that I'll get through this without getting soaked. Because you saw the palaver of me actually trying to fill the pots last time and talk at the same time, I've done them already. Look, very simple multi-purpose compost. Literally these buckets from Morrison's, and great big blooming branch that looks like. A log of wood in this compost, but never mind. All I'm going to do, I mean really these were for the scrap heap. We've given them away to people who professed an interest in them. And what sort is it? I think this is market mull. Good old market mull. If you look at that poor thing in that tiny, tiny pot, that's because I really didn't think we were going to do anything with it. So have a little look at that. I am just going to, you don't want to see this, dig a hole with my hand and pop it in. Now, any sort of cucumbers or squash or anything like that, they don't really like getting their stems wet. Different with tomatoes. You know, we've said about tomatoes planting them deeper than the soil level because they get stems coming out the roots. Sorry. I might know what day it is, but I can't get my words out. They have roots coming out their stems, so you can afford to put them in a bit deeper and they'll get more roots, and that makes for a better plant. But cucumber doesn't really like that, and the roots are likely to go mouldy. So yeah, give it a little bit of space. Label. Look, this is much easier. This is why we used to do this on Blue Peter. Look, here's one I made earlier. Done. Next one. Next one. Maybe I should prepare more. I'm at that time in my life where I should have learned that by now. Next one again. Another, oh, this says Crimson Crush. Oh no, this is one of the lemon ones. Okay, so again, I put 4 of these outside. This is one of the lemon cucumbers I've got very excited about, because you get nice round lemon colour fruits. I don't know if they're any sweeter, I don't know if they taste any different to an ordinary cucumber, but they look nice and make a bit of a change from your standard green cuke. And that's that. Look how easy that was. But steak, 1 in there, and I will tie that round when I get the string. I've got my scissors but I haven't got the string. Again, just loosely encourage that to start growing up, like so. And the same with this one. I know I say it every time, but oh bless you, someone's had a sneeze. I can't stress how important it is to make sure you've got your labels sorted. As someone who, even this year, has had somebody use a pencil on the labels, which just washed off. So we don't know the difference between our turnips and our beetroots, but never mind, all is forgiven. So yeah, that's as easy as that was to do. Cucumbers ready to go back in the greenhouse. I've got so many chilli plants. I don't know why I planted this many. There might not even be chilies, but they look like it. Again, not labelled. But I don't think I planted any sweet peppers. So anyway, it's going to be a pepper of some sort. Given loads away, we've got some left over. It's just a case, I'm terrible for not just throwing things. If there's a space, I'll try and squeeze something in. And today's harvest. I mean, considering it's just the beginning of June, we're starting to take home harvest. We've got a lovely Lolla Rossa lettuce. We've got the elderflowers, which I've just picked, which I'm going to get them into water, give them a good rinse as soon as I get them home, and get started making that cordial tonight, because that would be lovely. We can have that. We'll go to have tomorrow. I took cordial. We're about to elderflower champagne. We did that one year, and that was fun. That was good fun. You invite friends around to have it. It was actually quite intoxicating. Let me know what you've done with your elderflowers. I know you can do fritters as well. I don't think we've ever tried fritters, but yeah, let me know what you do with yours. And the very first, let me put these back. The very first, really, of what I hope is going to be many harvests to come of the broad beans. I picked 1 or 2 last time I was here, but these are just starting to fill the pods now, and I reckon there's enough for 2 of us to have tonight with our pasta. So we're going to have them, and of course these look very sorry for themselves now. Look how quickly they wilt. How sad's that? That looks like a sad thing to have, but actually again, a few little radish chopped up. It's just lovely. And actually, although the greens, the tips of them don't look appetizing at all, we had those the other night, just stir fried. They were just like spinach, just like greens, so give them a go. As long as they're not full of flea beetle, you'll be all right. So that's a little harvest for today. I'm really pleased with that. What did I want to ask you? Oh yes, I have been asking around about this, but because of the blight situation last year, the tomatoes, I've been giving them a spray of bicarbonate of soda, or baking soda if you're in the States, and I've been using it to 2 tablespoons to 2 litres in one of those like gun spray things, and just spraying them, soaking them, and you're meant to do that every 2 weeks. Now, I've mentioned it to some people and they sound quite alarmed and say, oh no, never heard of that one at all. You're meant to use Epsom salts. Other people use soluble aspirin. Other people use copper something or other. Let me know what you've used. If you've tried the bicarbonate of soda, have I had a funny dream? Have I made that up? I'm pretty sure it's still someone doing it. Just let me know, and let me know what you do to try and avoid blight. The other thing I'd be really interested to know is if any of you have done Crimson Crush, because I think I mentioned last time that's one of the tomatoes I'm doing. So let me know if you had any joy with it last year, because again, to have a whole load of tomatoes that haven't been blighted would be wonderful. What else have I got to tell you? Nothing. Well, I have, but I'll start rattling on. You know what I'm like. Hope you like the t-shirt. You know where to get them. Sorry, I had to do that. And that's it. It does look like it's going to bucket down with rain any moment soon. So I'm going to make sure things are finally watered, and I'm going to pack up and head home. I hope you're having a lovely time wherever you are. I hope you've been able to get to enjoy some of this lovely weather, even though I've gone around complaining and saying, oh, it's too hot, it's too hot. It has been nice to have a bit of sun and warmth. It's also been nice to have the garden watered for us when we've had heavy rain. So I'm going to go. I'm waffling again. I'm going to go. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you next time at the allotment. Okay, bye.